Good afternoon, folks. Streaming, doing Destinies again. Thinking I might be wrapping up. Might be wrapping up this case. I think we have an idea of who's done it, but I guess we'll see. Were you able to sleep last night? Huh? Oh, sleep. Sure, I slept. For a grand total of 0 hours. Good morning, you two. You look like you're ready to put on a real show. Before you do, I have a good luck gift for you. The voice print analysis came back, and the results couldn't be more clear. The voice in the mock trial video and the tape recording are one and the same. In other words, the recording is a fabrication. The lab is continuing their study of the tape. So far they found signs of overdubbing, but it's going to take a bit longer to recover the audio that was erased. Who's there? Wait. Did you see who it was? No, I got a quick look, but they got away. I think it might have been Hugh. I bet he was eavesdropping. Wonder if he saw our hand. Oh, I'm sure he wasn't the only one just now. But Robin and Box Girl were listening in too. We'll make sure they don't make a run for it. That is my final gift to you. Okay, all that's left now is to reach out to the truth. Time for a mini Chords of Steel workout. I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine. Your turn. I'm Athena Sykes and I'm fine. Court will now reconvene for the trial of Juniper Woods. Sykes' brigade is totally psyched. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Prosecution's ready as well? Isn't that right, Prosecutor Blackwell? Yes, well, moving right along. Yesterday's adjournment was unexpected, yet necessary. But I'll be running a tight ship here today, so no funny business from anybody, understood? For baldness, Robin Newman and Hugh O'Connor have recanted their confessions. But later, I shall grill them at leisure to find whether I can charge them with perjury. Well, this sure complicates matters. Still, one must not overlook the facts. Now, about the school camera photo that was submitted yesterday. A pity, but that evidence is no longer relevant to this case. The art room clock runs fast, it cannot function as an accurate measure of time. As for the bungling detective who overlooked that, he is paying for his failure as we speak. Poor Detective Fulbright. I hope he returns to work with all his body parts intact. But if that's the case, then what will we... The accused is the sole person who could have moved the body from the art room to stage. And I mean to prove it here this day. Just like Detective Fulbright said, what else does he have up his sleeve? My understanding of this heinous crime is thus. The murder took place near the center of the art room, as evidenced by the bloodstain. Blood was also found in some pottery next to the window over the maintenance area. Which is to say the body was carried over to that very window. From there, it was dropped down to the maintenance area below, and though there was nary a scratch to the body aside from the fatal wound, that too was per the script. A high jump mat was employed to cushion the fall. Then a ball cart was used to haul the body over to the stage. It's not very clever. It's the same exact body moving scheme as the script. Anyone could have moved the body that way.
Objection!
Your propensity to spew forth words before you think is not very clever either. Why, you... Moreover, the prosecution has a witness, which is most unfortunate for you. Witness, it's time for you to come forth. Yeah. Well then, will the witness please state his name and occupation? Hugh O'Connor. I'm a senior at Themis Legal Academy, and I'm studying to be a lawyer. Yesterday, I told that lawyer there that I would testify to the truth, so I intend to cooperate fully in today's trial. Happy now, Ms. Sykes? What's he up to now? The court appreciates your cooperation, Mr. O'Connor. Now, your testimony, please. The lecture hall was packed before the mock trial, but the rest of the campus was empty. That's when I saw Juniper dragging a large mat from behind the stage. I was watching her from a vantage point between the stage and the maintenance area. She was heading towards me, so I assumed she was on her way to the maintenance area. But I didn't have time to stand around and see what she did after that. The real truth hurts so much, doesn't it, Ms. Sykes? Or maybe you thought I was going to bring up something else entirely against your client. Ugh, never a snappy comeback when I need one. He's coming straight at us today, using any means possible. To protect the students who had to climb up high when setting up the stage. A mat was brought over to the stage from the storehouse. Our client is the student council president. What's wrong with her taking it upon herself to put the mat away after they'd used it?
Objection!
Oh, there is plenty wrong. There is but one mat in the entire school that could cushion a fall from such lofty heights. Ergo, the mat in question is indispensable to moving the body. It's like being the last to know everything. I think I get it now. The drag marks we saw behind the stage were made by the mat. If the only mat of that thickness was where the body is assumed to have been dropped, it would be hard to deny a possible link to this case. We're off to a bad start again. You sure you okay, Athena? It's game on, Hugh. Game on. Gonna turn your arrogant perfect score grin into a teary-eyed frown of failure. Hold it right there. What? I was just getting the important part. You here to unsheath your blade, Sykes Dono? Your heavy breath heaves to where I stand. How rude. Human's breath doesn't travel anywhere near that far. The only issue is distance. You're not denying that you're a heavy breather. I'm just saying that scientific studies have proven that it's not... Hang in there, Athena. No matter how many insults they hurl, it won't affect the judge's opinion of you. What about my own self-esteem? Let's get back to what happened before the mock trial.
Hold it!
The client was simply putting the mat away. It had nothing to do with this case.
Objection!
That is where you are wrong. There's... Yeah, okay. If we win this one, I promise to donate another thick mat to the Academy. Alright, I think this is the part where it starts to be questionable.
Hold it!
So Connor, are you positive you were standing exactly where you said? It's between the stage and the maintenance area, and she was behind the backdrop. She's sticking to his guns. The issue here is where Hugh was standing when he says he saw Junie. Nothing I say will mean anything without evidence. Time to dig a little deeper. Yeah. It's probably this one, because that wall is still there. Unless there's another piece of evidence that refers to the wall still being there. But I don't think there is, yeah. Anything. It only shows that you're not positive.
Objection!
It's wild momentum. Perhaps you were a raging bull in your past life.
Objection!
compare me to some stupid farm animal. Boy, Justice don't know. Our assertion is Juniper was simply putting the mat away. In that case, where would she be taking it? Oh, to the storehouse, over in the maintenance area. Precisely. Therefore, there is naught wrong with the witness's judgment in this matter. It's your wild charges that are the issue here. I cannot help it if you keep seeing red. He's going to get a face full of justice, Apollo style, if he keeps that up. Anyway, I saw her heading towards me. What else he has to say on this one, but I doubt it's important.
Objection!
I was in the lecture hall before the mock trial, and the rest of the campus was empty. Ergo, the only probable suspects were the 3 trial participants. Thank you for stating the obvious. I also know that you, Hugh O'Connor, were one of the participants. His confidence sure goes all out when he tells the truth. He doesn't make it factual. Careful now, Athena. A genius like Hugh could be leading you right into a trap. Be surprised if he wasn't, but all I can do is charge forward with both eyes open. So yeah, the obvious problem here is the security wall. So, you saw the back of the stage from between the stage and the maintenance area. Well, let's take a look at this photo taken by Miss Scuttlebutt, shall we? This photo shows the students setting up the stage the day before the mock trial. You see the big construction screen to the right of the stage in the background here. Why yes, in fact there were a bunch of those next to my house until a few days ago too. So noisy behind there, but I couldn't take a peek. Oh, how it piqued my interest. Exactly, Your Honor. You cannot see past such screens. That is their purpose. Now let's see. How exactly is that screen positioned again? Aha! Since it was to the right of the stage, it should be right here. And from this vantage point, the witness claims to have seen our client behind the stage backdrop. Oh my, but the screen would have been completely in the way. That's right. Therefore, the witness couldn't have possibly seen our client from this point. Mr. O'Connor, have you been lying to this court? The screen, right, must have slipped my mind. What? Are you telling me you, Mr. Genius, forgot something as literally as big as that? There are 2 kinds of memory lapses. The normal kind you mouth breathers have. And the genius level lapses of memory. There's no difference between those 2. It's a normal everyday brain fart already. The witness now please restate what he remembers minus the lapses of memory. That's easy. I was on the other side of the screen. In other words, I witnessed Juniper from the stage side of the screen.
Objection!
You're testifying that our client was behind the stage. But I need to remind this court the back of the stage is not visible from the front. To actually see our client behind the stage from the stage side of the screen, the witness himself would also have to be in the same area behind the stage. But in that case, our client would have definitely seen Mr. O'Connor. Nice one, Athena. Keep it up.
Objection!
Alright, golden boy. Is this not your chance? Telling the truth will be like a weight lifted from your chest. Truth? What truth? The fact that golden boy here was where he initially stated. That is to say, he was between the maintenance area and the stage.
Objection!
Then his screen would have blocked his view.
Objection!
On the ground, yes, his view would have been blocked indeed. But consider how smoke always wants to rise up high. Athena, look at the photo again. Do you think something on the other side of the screen, something high enough to see the stage? No way, this crane right here? But I don't remember seeing a crane there the day of the mock trial. Me either, but it's probably safe to assume it was moved before you found the body. It's far enough, Prosecutor Blackwell. Remember, you promised. Humph. I recall making no such promise. It was you who came blubbering to me about keeping quiet in exchange for information. Ah, what's all this about? A promise? Is this about whatever Black Quill is using against him? And what's it got to do with going into the crane? Golden Boy did not go up in that crane for fun. He was working part-time as a crane operator within school grounds. What? You mean to tell me a high school student was operating a crane? The witness, I object to the prosecutor's last statement. No proof I ever operated that crane. Actually, it just might be something that proves you did. What? This whole part-time job thing is true. I doubt it would be limited to a single day. You were probably working at the same site the previous day, too. Is this what you're thinking of, Athena? Oh. See, the photo captured the crane's operator. Is that him? If you look carefully, he bears a definite resemblance to Mr. O'Connor. You serious? This is ridiculous. How very interesting. Let's ascertain whether this is as ridiculous as the witness maintains. The defense agrees with the prosecution. Let's bring the facts to light. It's all very well and good, but just how do you propose to do that? The person in this photo has one really distinguishing feature. Not 100% sure, but it's at least worth a try. We clearly identify the person in this photo as the witness by examining his neck? The figure in this photo is wearing a very unique object around his neck. Why, yes, you can see it right there. But then are you saying you mean to... Mr. O'Connor's neck is almost entirely concealed by his tall collar. But that's exactly why I believe this warrants further examination. No, not a chance. That would be a blatant violation of my privacy. You are a disgrace of a man. Now start unbuttoning. Okay. Whoa, maybe not in the middle of the courtroom. I mean, it's his collar, but still. Guess I have no choice. Oh my. So, where did you buy that neckband, if I might ask? I didn't buy it. It's handmade, and there's only one like it in the world. Well, it sure looks like the neckband in the photo. Should we have the photo analyzed? Heh, you're one irritating lady. Fine, I admit it. I work a part-time construction job. It has nothing to do with our school. Operating heavy equipment's no big deal for a guy who can parallel park one-handed. But I never expected one of my jobs would take me to my own school. But when you factor in all of the required tests and apprenticeship period, wouldn't you have to be at least 20 to have a license for operating a crane? Oh, about that, you see, I'm a genius, so, you know... Is he not actually 18?
Objection!
Let's dispense with this inane charade, Golden Boy. No, Prosecutor Blackwell, please don't. High school seniors are 19 at most, thus they fail to complete the requirements. That does not apply to you, does it, Mr. O'Connor? Why doesn't it apply? He's a senior, so he's around that age, right? Oh, don't, please. Actually, Golden Boy here is 25. He took a 7-year break from school. Well, I mean, it is weird that he's not being correct about his age, but, you know, whatever. Wait, come again? Take a gander at the official school enrollment documentation. This is all right there. 25? You mean he's older than me? 25-year-old high school student? A 7-year break. 7 years. I have just one thing to say. There are two kinds of 7-year breaks. The ordinary kind, your mouth breathe, and... Yeah. The genius would quickly become a chore for a 7-year break. I think you have that backwards, Athena. Geniuses make mistakes. I just happen to make mine only 7 years in a row. What? You could get away with using only like that. Enough of this jibber-jabber. Suffice to say, the witness was up in the crane when he saw the accused dragging the mat. The accused readied all she needed to move the body immediately prior to doing so. That much is clear. I see no need to deliberate the matter further. Considering that the body was moved in the same manner as in the script, I find Prosecutor Blackwell's claim to be quite persuasive. Does the defense care to dissuade me? As long as a mat was used to move the body, Junie's going to be under suspicion. Athena, I just thought of something. What was Hugh doing in the crane right before the mock trial? He couldn't have been on the job at the time. I mean, he was waiting for the trial to start. Yeah, that's a good point. You don't think... Your Honor, Miss Sykes. Got it. Got an amazing idea that will turn the prosecution's claim on its head. Little conjectures never stopped us before. Interesting. Mr. Connor, you were using the crane to... I mean, he could have used it to move the body? He wouldn't have used it to move himself. And the screen, as far as I know, wasn't moved. Body was just like it was in the script, so it must have been moved like in the script, too. At least, that's what the prosecution believes. How simplistic, even foolish. Those are pretty strong words, Athena. You sure about this? The witness is a licensed crane operator, so he could have used it to move the body.
Objection!
Well, Golden Boy, care to chime in? I intend to say no more on the matter. Save that this does not bode well for you. Wait, he's on my side this time? Or is this another trap? Watch this. Use a bow and arrow one-handed. Wow, that's a crazy level of dexterity. You can even drive a crane with one hand. That's easy. But operating the crane itself is so complex it requires both hands. Now, I would have the court look at this. Oh, please tell me that's a ketchup stain. I wish my hand was injured and required surgery. That's the reason I kept my hand in my pocket all this time. I've already verified this with the hospital of treatment. Quite a nasty wound, they say. So, how did you hurt it? See no need to discuss that. There's no relevance to this case. 2 hands are required to operate complex machinery such as a crane. Ergo, on the day of the mock trial, the witness was incapable of moving the body by crane. Now I'm the fool? Planned on moving the crane the night before the mock trial, but then I got injured. Wanted to keep my part-time job a secret, I had to do it just before the mock trial instead. Here I thought this was the big break we've been waiting for. Now the defense's sophistry is laid bare, I would have the court recall my claim. The body was dropped out of a 3rd-floor window to a mat near the maintenance area. Then a ball cart was used to move it to the stage. See, I've been paying attention. Well done, your baldness. Now consider this. The accused was sighted dragging that mat, ergo it's she who moved the body. Well, I think you were on the right track, Athena. You do? Yeah, Juniper remains the prime suspect if we assume the body was moved per her script. So as the defense, you have to figure out how else the body could have been moved. But... oh, is he telling me to think of another way besides the crane? There is one other way. If you have a counter-argument, the court would love to hear it. And if you do not, it is time for the verdict. Isn't that correct, your baldness?
Objection!
No, not yet. All I have to do is show that the body wasn't moved like it was in the script, right? Well, that would show that Matt had nothing to do with this case. There's a sword of great renown that cuts down sophistic lawyers. Its name is evidence. You don't scare me. Force a smile, Athena. You can do it. What's wrong with your face, Athena? It's a weird mix of terror and creepy grin. Just focus on how the body could have been moved without it being dropped. How could anyone lower it without just dropping it? It's not like it could fly. Maybe it could. After all, there is a way to zip between the art room and the stage. Yeah, it's that other thing with the blood stain on it. Someone could have easily used that thing. Hmm? Oh, yes, of course. Besides, the court would like to see what you have for us. I like how he just, like, nodded at the judge, and the judge was like, oh, yeah.
Take that!
The key here is the thing that ties the art room and the stage together. Might I propose an idea? It might do you well to tie your lips together lest you further expose your ignorance. This isn't exactly the time for black comedy, Prosecutor Blackwell. Anyway, the court will recall the wire on which the school banner was hung. That wire was strung between the art room and the stage, which allowed students to run or reel in the school banner from the art room. The body could have easily been lowered down to the stage via this wire.
Objection!
Spare me your armchair theories. This wasn't some kind of higher wire act. The body surely would have fallen, yet there were no signs of blunt force trauma.
Objection!
Oh, you surprised me, Prosecutor Blackwell. You didn't actually think I failed to account for that. I'm sure that's exactly what he thought. When we investigated the stage yesterday, the bottom part of the school banner had been tied into a pouch-like shape. And pouches are useful for carrying things. What do you think this one could have carried? Well, go on. Please explain. The body was bundled in the pouch-like section of the banner and sent down the wire. The body would have been down on that stage in a flash, and there'd be no need for a mat. I've heard the phrase carrying the banner, but the banner doing the carrying.
Objection!
No patience for you and your cheap parlor tricks. Your claim is as shaky as a corpse performing that absurd higher wire act. If you have an actual objection, then just come out and say it. I trust you recall the bloodstains left on the art room pottery. The wire had been used to move the body. It would have to be the window above the quad, the one with the winch. However, the blood-stained pottery was next to the window above the maintenance area. Could have brought the banner in, wrapped the body over there, and carried it back. Oh, the blood-stained pottery. I remember that. Doesn't look good. We'll be back to the mat theory if you don't do something. Well, Miss Sykes, I hope you have something better this time than a circus act. My wire theory is true, and that blood on the pottery must not have been... I mean, what if it was Hugh's? Maybe it's not the victim's blood. Please check to see from whom the blood on the pottery came from. Shame on you, Sykes Dono. Have a little more respect for the constabulary. Foolbright. Looks like they didn't check it. Don't let it get you down, Prosecutor Blackwell. Everyone makes mistakes. Spare me your cheek. We will know not either way till the tests are run. True, but in the meantime, I'm going to press my claim as far as I can. Your baldness. I demand that the blood on the pottery be analyzed this instant. Of course, it shouldn't take long to get the results back. Oh my, that was quick. Or history if it turns out to be the victim's blood. Please, let it be someone else's. Seems the blood was not from the victim. What? Furthermore, a comparison with other parties involved with this case reveals... Is it Hughes? Uh-huh. Not looking good for him. Don't worry, Judy. Just try to relax. Yeah, he, Your Honor, as we saw earlier, the witness's left hand suffered a serious injury. Sustained the wound in a struggle with the victim, and his blood got on the pottery. Then Junie saw his blood-stained hands as they passed each other in the first floor hall. It's the only explanation that covers everything. Yeah.
Objection!
There's but one way now to turn aside her blade, but do not cast the blame on me. Grudges with Sykes don't know, for it is she who forces me to expose your secret. Fine, whatever. How much dirt does he have on you? The court will now observe this odd-looking envelope. It was inside that Miriam Scuttlebutt script found. It was inside this that Miriam Scuttlebutt's script was found. What? The Scuttlebutt's... But didn't the prosecution already claim that this envelope is the one that contained her script? Circumstances have changed. You see, Golden Boy had hidden this from us all. Let's see here. My word, talk about the world's most painful paper cut. Indeed, you can clearly see that if this envelope is not opened correctly, a powerful spring-loaded blade will shoot forth, leaving a horrible gash upon the hand. The only one who had been told of the correct way to open it was Constance Court. You wish you hadn't. Huh. She wasn't kidding. Blood on the blade is the witnesses. Our genius here tried to sneak a peek at the wrong script and paid for his foolishness. This guy's the worst genius I've ever seen. Don't worry, Athena. The wound isn't that deep. We've still got the wire theory. Yeah, I've got it. Since the blood by the window overlooking the maintenance area isn't the victim's, there's no longer any basis for denying the body was moved using the wire and banner. Therefore, the defense once again asserts just that. I mean, couldn't you also analyze the blood on the banner? Considering... I mean, they were just doing a lot of blood analysis. Here's some blood on a thing. Analyze it. The court would like to remind the witness that his role is not to point out, and you, how can you adhere to such outdated beliefs? But whatever. Seems you've forgotten the two statues that were on stage directly below the wire. The body sent sliding down that wire would have crashed into them. Care to explain that away? You mean it would have crashed into them and possibly broken them? Thank you for explaining another piece of the puzzle that we didn't understand yet? Statues and the wire extremely close together. The body would have collided with the statues. What if they did collide? Wait, that's it. Speaking of those statues, we still don't know how they were broken. But if we assume the body crashed into them, that would also explain that loud sound we heard while we were in the waiting room. Oh, now that you mention it, you and Mr. Wright went out to the stage after you heard that sound, correct?
Objection!
Interesting. Oh, very interesting. May I just ask one question? When was it that you heard... Yeah, the problem is that it was... Yeah, the mock trial had already started. So Wright and I were practically bored to tears there in the waiting room when... Yeah... Precisely. That sound you heard did happen while the body was being moved. That would place it during the mock trial. Which means the body wouldn't have been there before the mock trial started. Said he saw the body before the mock trial. If so, my claim the body was moved during the mock trial doesn't hold water. Stupid contradiction. It's going to get me in our case killed. Focus was on just 3 suspects because the body was moved before the mock trial. That has been the major premise thus far. Your assertion, therefore, contradicts the very foundation of this case.
Objection!
Both sides still lack incontrovertible evidence. So, should we not also treat Goldensploit's testimony with some level of suspicion? Good point. Prosecutor Blackwell is on our side. I don't know about that. But he's triggered up the truth behind this case. Well, great, as long as he's not up to something else. The statues really were broken when the body hit them. The Hugh's statement about seeing the body before the mock trial is a big fat lie. Okay, Mr. O'Connor, let's get to the bottom of this contradiction about when you saw the body. Let me straighten the eyes and repeat your statement to me. Like I said before, before the mock trial, the body was, you know... I shall only say this once, Golden Boy. You had best tell the truth and do it now. That is, if your head wishes to enjoy the continued companionship of your body. Now, out with it. Did you truly witness the body? Or were you just lying about it? Well, which is it? You what? I never saw the body. Are you sure about that? Lie to this court again and I'll charge you with perjury. There was no body on that stage. I've been lying about that this whole time. I'm sorry. Here we go. Why would he lie about this to begin with? These premise the body was moved before the mock trial has been overturned. Imagine this has an impact on both the defense and the prosecution's case. Well, first I'd like to thank the prosecutor. This brings us one step closer to the truth. Now at least we know the body was moved using the wire and school banner. Indeed, that much I shall concede, Sykes Dono. Body was moved as you stated, and in the midst of the mock trial. So both sides are satisfied then. If the body was moved before the mock trial, we have our 3 suspects. But if the move took place in the midst of the mock trial, it's an entirely different story. Right, all 3 suspects were in the mock trial. That gives them solid alibis.
Objection!
How simplistic. Did you forget about the student in charge of the audio? Amidst the mock trial, she was the one soul who could leave and re-enter the lecture hall. What's this? Who is this person in charge of the audio? Yeah, but isn't she on... We don't know exactly when it happened, so we don't know if she was on camera when it actually happened. In the trial, she was in the audio control room dealing with the music. Indeed, the one who could enter the art room amidst the mock trial to move the body was none other than the accused, Juniper Woods, for she was in charge of the audio. Why, yes, I see. That does make perfect sense. This can't be happening. Instead of exposing Hugh's crime, Judy's in even deeper. No matter how you slice it, we're cooked. And here I thought Prosecutor Blackwell was on our side, at least on this issue. Twisted Samurai strikes again. Just twisted, it's more like dirty rotten. Your baldness. It's time to put an end to this farce. Prosecution has presented a quite convincing case. But the defense has one last chance to voice any remaining objections. Well, Miss Sykes? Apollo, what are we gonna do? We've got nothing left. Nothing. Nada. Niente. I'm trying to think of something, but I'm drawing a big blank too. Ugh. Or Junie, unless we figure out something, she'll be... Objection. Objection. Well... I object to... Stop right there. All ears to me. It's time you heard about the rare genius of Hugh O'Connor. Why is he sweating? Listen and you will hear the secret behind my perfect crime. What is happening? Perfect crime? Wait, this is some serious deja vu. Didn't we just go through something like this yesterday? Yes we did. This had better not be another one of his enraging traps. The murder, the moving of the body, the cover-up, it all sprung from my brilliant mind. Well, go ahead, arrest me. The real killer is right before you. Order, I say. Mr. O'Connor, you already confessed yesterday, then earlier today recanted your confession. As if you mouth-breathers could comprehend my genius. The end justifies the means. Now bow down and kneel. Kneel before my great and maddening intellect.
Objection!
Enough. The only thing maddening is the ignominy you bear for all to see. For it is impossible for you to have been the perpetrator behind this crime. There is no perfect crime, only a perfect alibi, for you were at the mock trial. It is silly that I must remind you of this, but you were a participant the entire time. There shall be no mercy if you persist in hindering this trial with your silly little act. Hugh doesn't seem the least bit shaken by Blackwell's threat. Listen, Mr. Prosecutor, calling that a perfect alibi is beyond contempt. Your Honor, I'd like to take this opportunity to offer further testimony. I will now demonstrate the very moment of genius that transcended even perfection. You won't believe this, but I used a body double. That wasn't the real me at the mock trial. That means I didn't almost lose. My body double almost did. I slipped out stealthily while my double took care of the trial. I had the run of the campus. In short, I'm the killer. Juniper's innocent. Really, dude? I understand you're trying to buy time for her again, but seriously? Is it just me, or does the witness's testimony make no sense at all? No, it's not just you, Your Honor. All I got from listening to that was a headache. Yeah, that was just plain weird, especially for the whole thing about a body double. Well, I'm relieved it's not just me. And the prosecution? Your baldness. Summon an ambulance this instant. The witness is stark raving mad. Yes, I think that would be for the best. Now then, let's pretend that never happened and move on to my verdict. People don't believe me? It's not a matter of not believing you. It's more along the lines of questioning your sanity. Yeah, the Funny Farm just called. They want their genius back. Shut your pie holes. The intellect of a genius transcends even logic. Besides, don't you guys have that weird device for testimony like this?
Objection!
Which it's not a weird device, and I don't waste him on ridiculous testimonies. Easy there, Tiger. Think of it this way. We don't want a verdict to be passed just yet. So how about we give Widget a try? Well, this is against my better judgment, but I'd like to conduct a short therapy session. Better judgment? I'm a judge, and it's far beyond mine, yet I find it hard to say no. Prosecutor Blackwell, I trust you have no objections? Prosecutor Blackwell? The prosecutor said, "Rubbish. We will be out on a stroll," then left with Detective Fulbright. Wow, he's so confident. He's not even sticking around anymore. And I'll interpret that as meaning he has no explicit objections. Alright, Miss Sykes, you may proceed with your therapy session. Seen my share of crazy trials, but this one takes the cake. I mean, this seems like the obvious one. Connor, yesterday you said that you didn't really care about Ms. Woods anymore. Yeah, well, Juniper reported my secret to Professor Court. Secret? Oh, bribe. She wanted nothing to do with me because I had disappointed her. That's why I don't care about her anymore. I was never trying to protect her. My confession was always about one thing and one thing only, the truth.
Objection!
Mr. O'Connor, you feel great happiness in the fact that you might help set Ms. Woods free. So much so that it overshadowed all of your other emotions. What are you... I can hear it clearly now, Mr. O'Connor, the discord you've been trying to suppress. People don't normally feel like you do when you confessed. So he really was trying to protect Juniper? Yes, I'm sure of it. Hugh's feelings for her are the real deal. But that means his confession is... Finally figured out the obvious, have we? Prosecutor Blackwell, you're back. Confession was naught but lies, save for the part about being in the mock trial. Can we all agree now that the killer is the one in charge of the audio, i.e. the accused? Yeah. Why couldn't you have taken a longer stroll? No, you haven't unraveled the genius of my body double trick yet. You can't be serious. Do you really expect us to believe you had a body double? Yes, I do. But if you think I didn't, then prove it. Either we quit here and Juniper is found guilty, or we play along with Hugh's delusion. Let's go with the least worst choice, but first let me update his testimony. No, it's not this one. Joy in my intellect, anger towards your superficiality, sadness at the world's ephemerality, and wonder at the universe's mysteries. Ugh, I brought my dictionary to court. So suffer sadness at the futility of your efforts. I mean... No, the sadness... I mean, the sadness also makes sense if he didn't want his... Well, it's not his professor. Nope. Man, understanding emotions is difficult sometimes. Okay, so it's not either of these. So probably not that one. Maybe this one? Why is he happy at being the killer? Oh, because he's got this whole, like... I don't understand this whole, like, oh, I'm a genius! I mean, I guess this one? I don't know what's going on here. Tried that one. I tried both of those now. I think I've tried both of those now. Okay, now I don't know what's happening, because I think I've tried all of them at this point. Unless it's the lack of this emotion? Okay, so he didn't feel happiness at this one? I didn't almost lose, you say. Very odd. You exhibited happiness the entire time, except during this statement. You don't know when to give up. Wait, now that I think about it... No, don't. Stop making stuff up. I left the lecture hall. It was during Professor Means' pre-trial speech. That's when I moved the body. I then slipped back in just before the verdict. So you're saying you were there the moment your double was about to lose? Yes, I was. Naturally, I wasn't happy when I saw that. In any case, I was at the far end of the lecture hall behind the screen. I figured no one would see me if I came and went through the doors there.
Objection!
Sykes Dono, how much longer will you indulge him in this charade? It's true that none in the audience might see him go through either of those doors. The faculty seats on the balconies are a different story and have a splendid view. Yeah, I thought you could do better than that. The lawyer's bench is on the right side when facing the front of the hall. I used the door on the right side near the lawyer's bench. That means my movements were only visible to someone in the left balcony seat. That seat was empty at the time, which is only natural. After all, it belonged to Professor Court, and as we all know, she was already dead by then. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Take that!
No idea where this contradiction is going. I don't have any other moves at this point. So I'll just have to follow it and see where this takes me. You said the left balcony seat was empty, but was it really? I saw it with my own eyes. It was definitely empty. What about this diagram? According to this, Professor Means was supposed to be seated in the left balcony seat. But if you left the lecture hall during his pre-trial speech, he would have been standing there at his seat addressing the students and faculty. No, this can't be right. You do no one any favors by exposing the falsities of his confession. I've told plenty of lies so far, but this part is true, I tell you. There was nobody in the left balcony seat. You've got to believe me. Doesn't seem like he's lying this time. Okay, Mr. O'Connor, let's have you testify again, but this time don't spare any details. You got it. I'll repeat it as many times as you like. I mean, my ingenious escape act warrants repeating, considering I'm the real killer. All I really care about is whether that seat was empty or not. Second floor was deserted. Why won't you believe me? It's true, I tell you. I went out through the back door without anyone noticing. Then all I had to do was go through the empty audio control room. It leads into the hallway, so I was perfectly capable of moving the body. Okay, what's up with this part? That was the wrong thing. That was a misclick. I am glad that these don't count against you, because I would have failed several times over trying to figure out the right emotions for these things. Powerful sadness and fear right after you said this part. It's as if you'd said something you shouldn't have. What's wrong with you? You shouldn't reveal a person's inner feelings for all this. So you were the one who asked us to do this. Must have a good idea about why you're feeling sad. You're a horrible person. Can't you just leave me? You asked for this. That's not true, is it? There was someone who returned from there once Professor Means finished his speech. And that someone who was in the audio control room was... I mean, it'd have to be Juniper. Now you realized there was a problem with your statement as you were saying it. That's why you felt so uneasy. If the audio control room really was empty, that would mean Miss Woods was roaming around the campus. Mr. O'Connor, if you really want to protect Miss Woods, just tell the truth. If you believe in her, revealing the truth is the same as protecting her. Juniper's innocent. That's the truth. But in this dark age of the law, the truth can be easily twisted to serve anyone's needs. When the end justifies the means, your only choice is to fight back with lies. Hugh's heart won't hold out under this battle between truth and lies. Is there something I can do to make him recant his false testimony? I fear nothing now that I've lost everything. Go ahead, Prosecutor Blackwell. Cut me down if you wish. Thought you'd never ask. With you gone, you may swiftly proceed to a verdict. He broke out of his shackles again. Still don't understand why we don't get a normal prosecuting attorney for these cases. In deference to your valor, will limit your suffering with one clean blow. You wait just one moment before you cut him down.
Silence.
You got come between a samurai and his foe, Sykes Dono. Yeah, never learned about this in law school. Careful, prosecutor. Remember that shocking experience you had last time? Very well, Golden Boy may live, for now. Enough already, Mr. O'Connor. Miss Woods would never want you to protect her this way. She values the friendship between the three of you more than anything. That's where you're wrong. She doesn't feel anything for me now. What does it matter anymore? I might as well tell you everything. This is, no doubt, news to you, but I am not and never was a genius. Sorry, but I already knew. Me too. And don't forget me. Though, in all fairness, it was pretty obvious. I thought he was a genius at first, but the stuff he said was crazy. I need to rub it in. Just shut up and listen. It all started several days ago. I accidentally learned that my parents have been paying good money for my grades. Oh, so he wasn't doing it, his parents were doing it. But that's bribery. So the bribery wasn't Hugh's idea. All my perfect scores were the product of cold hard cash, not genius. Even worse, when I confronted my parents about it over the phone, Juniper overheard me. Oh my, what a terrible misunderstanding. Been living a lie. I don't know what else there is to say. No genius. I'm completely worthless. A perfect 0. Phew. Even so, I still wanted to make it up to Juniper for disappointing her like that. That's why I wanted to clear her name by pinning the blame on me. I mean, she probably hates me now, so it'd be a relief for her to see me locked away. If you were trying to help her, then why did you testify against her? You were the ones who told me to tell the truth yesterday, so I thought if I did, it would help her. He wasn't trying to provoke us? Looks like we seriously misunderstood him in more ways than one. At the detention center yesterday, Junie was in tears when she opened up to me. But the truth is, the friendship between the three of them is still rock solid. If there were something that could help me prove that to Hugh... Proof of our friendship. As long as our friendship lasts, you bet we'll be carrying them around. About that proof of friendship they mentioned. I wonder where or what it is. I mean, I assume it's the thing on his neck. Although, I guess maybe Robin's is under her headband, maybe? It's the only one like it in the world. Maybe it's... No, that's definitely it. That band around his neck. Mr. O'Connor, band around your neck. That's your proof of friendship, isn't it? Proof of friendship? Is anything like a proof of purchase barcode? In court, evidence is everything. That's why the three friends created friendship bands. The evidence that proves their friendship. Oh, how very interesting. And chic. If they have doubts about their friendship, they can look to the proof they have on hand. That's why Mr. O'Connor's hand always goes to his neck when he's pressured. Proves he still has feelings of friendship towards the other two. It doesn't matter if I wear it if those two...
Objection!
But they feel the same way too. I know they wear their friendship bands somewhere. Junie and Robin must both feel the same as Hugh, I just know it. Everything Hugh has said leads me to believe that. In fact, he may have also just told me that the others wear their proof of friendship. All you have to do is think back to their testimonies. Ready? Miss Newman holds her arm when pressured. And Miss Woods holds her wrist. She would never abandon her friendship with you over something like this. And taking the blame for her will only succeed in making her terribly sad. Ugh.
Robin, those bands of friendship that you made, just for the three of us. You may have forgotten about them, but not me.
Hugh! Hey, Hugh!
And to think, I should have known better than to doubt my best friends.
This is nice and all, but, I didn't kill anyone. I didn't have a body double. I didn't move the body. I didn't even see it. It may look like I'm speed reading. Zen in the art of mastering the bar exam, but I haven't read a single word. You could have fooled me. In fact, you did. You know... So, Miss Sykes, can I place my trust in you? I'm going to save Junie. So yes, you can place your trust in me. And am I to understand that the witness is recanting his confession? Yes. I mean, now we're back at the verdict. Except for one thing that... This roundabout trial, I much prefer the turnabout variety myself. Now we're back to the fact that there was but one suspect who lacked an alibi. Which is, in the end, the truth you've been seeking this entire time. So we're back to... not quite. Probably doesn't matter at this point, but I might as well update the mood matrix. Huh? Does this mean... Further resistance is futile. Time for a verdict is nigh.
Objection!
Please, wait. What sort of devilry are you up to now? What if our client wasn't the only one without an alibi? The trial would continue, right? Well, yes, I suppose it would. But after such a thorough investigation, does such a person really exist? There is one person! It may have seemed like a major roundabout. Mr. O'Connor's testimony has cracked this case. There's no more noise. Hugh's telling the truth now. In the mock trial, the balcony seat opposite him really was empty, which now means there's one person unaccounted for. Well, this was unexpected.
Take that!
But maybe not. Balcony seat was empty. That much is true, isn't it, Mr. O'Connor? That's right. How many more times do I have to say it? So basically, Professor Means wasn't where he was supposed to be during the mock trial.
Silence.
Need I remind you, every last soul in the lecture hall heard him deliver his speech.
Objection!
I know, and that's not in dispute here. Now let me explain how a speech could be given from an empty seat. It was... So we were wondering about that, I see. Wondering what else could have been on that tape recorder. It's the only way the speech could have been delivered from an empty balcony seat. So it was overdubbed, something that was 10 minutes long, I see. Wait, are you accusing Professor Means? That's insane. I mean, he's the one who gave me the tape recorder. Take this to the police, he said, and tell them you found it. Really? Wait a second. Mr. O'Connor, did you just say that Professor Means gave that phony recording to you? Phony? The defense will refrain from hurling unsubstantiated allegations. Well, I said he gave it to me, but what do you mean it's phony? Wow, who could have seen this development? That voice shouting, "You're a goner," as recorded on this tape, was dubbed onto it using a line our client said in the mock trial video. Why, this is an extremely crucial piece of evidence. Professor Means gave Hugh the phony tape. If that's really true, then Professor Means has guilt written all over him. Your Honor, the defense moves to call Professor Aristotle Means to the stand.
Silence.
The seat was never empty. It was but an oversight by our dullard of a witness. An inmate who was formerly a surgeon once told me something. Said it's often all too easy to overlook critical symptoms.
Objection!
Well, we're not going to overlook this oversight. If the speech was pre-recorded, the basis for suspecting our client would be shattered. Let's check with Professor Means and see whether the empty seat was a witness oversight. A verdict without first looking into that would be inconceivable. That's enough, both of you. Now, here's my opinion on the matter. While the surgeon overlooking critical symptoms is a problem, a witness's oversight too must not be overlooked. Thus is the matter of whether Professor Means was or was not in his faculty seat. I believe we must ask the professor himself. I agree. Professor Means should be here in the gallery today. Humph. Do as you please. Will you please state your name and occupation for the record? Certainly, I am Aristotle Means. I teach the lawyer course at Themis Legal Academy, and let me add that while I welcome any opportunity to assist with the trial, I don't care for this undue suspicion. Don't worry, Professor. We're just interested in the mock trial video right now. We just need to take another look at that speech you gave. Can we count on your cooperation in this? Very well, if that's all you're interested in. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. Need to find some sort of evidence that shows the speech was pre-recorded. Alright, I believe we're ready. Let's roll the video. Afternoon. I would like to start by thanking you for coming here today. Mock trial, the crown jewel event of the school festival, will begin shortly. When I was a student, I too could hardly wait for this day to come. Oh no, I'd forgotten how long and boring his speech was. Wake me up once this is over. Hey, no fair! Experiences of our youth have a powerful and profound effect on our adult. Ah, you there. Wake up. Pay attention. Huh? I'm awake. Isn't that right, Your Honor? Huh? What? I'm awake too. Wide awake, see? He's just asleep. Once again, our pure white lady justice will be watching over all of you today. Pay attention and you may make a difference one day. Now, let the mock trial begin. That is about it. One of my better speeches, if I do say so myself. I even saw some of our students with tears in their eyes. It's obviously not familiar with the phrase bored to tears. Listen, Sykes Dono, if you have subjected me to this epic study and tedium without purpose, Taka will feast on your tongue after I've cut it out. But you were asleep the whole time. Oh, Miss Sykes, did you notice anything strange about that speech? Could I please hear that last part again? Once again, our pure white lady justice will be watching over all of... Huh.
Hold it!
You know, I didn't notice that before, but... One question about your speech. Why did that last part we heard just her contradict with this? Wow, it's right there in the center. I didn't notice it. Pure white lady justice would be watching over them. The lady justice in the video isn't even close to being white. It's as gold can be. I'm not sure I can wrap my jaw around that to test its authenticity. I didn't say it was made of gold, Your Honor. Now, it's true that the statue is pure white. But it broke before the mock trial began. The one you see here is its replacement. Oh, well, that's a shame on every count. Ironically, this golden statue sticks out like a sore thumb compared to the white one. I guess I should have noticed that. mean, the professor wouldn't have made a mistake in its color if he'd been present. Controller's acting up again. It seems that I've caused some confusion. It was merely an oversight on my part.
Objection!
The statue was in the middle of the room. How could you not know what it looked like? Well, I was in a balcony seat. Furthermore, the statue had previously been white. I'm afraid this isn't sufficient evidence of the speech being pre-recorded. Had our answer long ago. The accused was the only one to leave the lecture hall. Now wait. There's gotta be something that can prove the speech was pre-recorded. According to the mock trial video, the speech started here and ended here. It's a little over 10 minutes, but I doubt anyone wants to be tortured again. One moment. Alright, I think I got it working again. So only a little over 10 minutes. It felt like it went on forever. How'd you figure out how long it was? Easy. There's a timestamp in the top right. All you have to do is subtract the time speech started from the time it ended. Speech goes from the 10-minute mark to 20:35. Wait a second. I could swear I've seen this same interval of time listed among the evidence. Maybe there's a way for me to use the speech time to show that it was pre-recorded. Yeah, I mean...
Take that!
Speech was pre-recorded. My proof is right here. Sure of it mentally, physically, psychologically, you name it. You're sure you're sure? Huh? Oh, well, yes, I'm sure. I think. Perhaps this penalty will help. Oh, apparently that wasn't it. 10 minutes and 35 seconds. Is that not? Oh, the voice print analysis, right.
Take that!
I'd like the court to take a look at this. And this is the voice print analysis that proves the voice on the tape recorder belongs to our client. Yes, but didn't we just establish that the voice on the tape recorder was a fabrication? We did, but what I'd like to focus on is the noise that is also there. Noise? Yes, the defense believes it resulted when the tape's previous recording was erased. And what do you hope to prove by that? The length of the noise is what's important. It's 10 minutes and 35 seconds in all. And what did the timestamp read at the moment Professor Means began his speech? That would be exactly 10. Now let's fast forward to this long-winded exercise in boredom to the end. Okay, stop. The video timestamp now reads 2035. Based on this, we know the time it took for the speech alone. Subtract 10 minutes and you get 10:35. 10 minutes and 35 seconds, the same as the noise on the tape recording. I assume you all understand what this means. Professor Means' pre-recorded speech had been where the noise was now.
Silence!
You seem rather confident considering this is mere happenstance of match of numbers.
Objection!
But is it really just numbers? The lab is continuing their study of the tape. So far, they found signs of overdubbing, but it's going to take a bit longer to recover the audio that was erased. The police are analyzing the noise as we speak. It won't be long until we know it was originally there. Now I'm sure of it. The professor was trying to create an alibi with the recording by pinning the crime on Junie. Well, he's not going to get away with it. Not on my watch. Miss Sykes, I believe you are well aware of my methodology. Even if Juniper were the perpetrator, I would vigorously defend her as per my word. And to that purpose, I offer to be her lawyer. Alas, look what's happened. All I've stated are obvious deductions derived from evidence and testimony. Truth be told, I had no intention of testifying. I had been keeping quiet for Juniper's sake. But now that you cast this blame upon me, I have no choice but to reveal the truth. This doesn't sound good. I will now reveal the truth behind why I had to pre-record my speech before the mock trial. I, Professor Means, always say what I mean, and mean what I say by all means. The defendant came to me with what she said was a very important and by necessity secret. She asked me to pre-record my speech and come to the audio room during the mock trial. Juniper confessed to the murder and asked that I get her declared innocent in court. She also said I'd become an accomplice after losing my alibi due to the pre-recording. But when I said I would protect Juniper, I meant it because it's the humane thing to do. Oh my, so you're saying the defendant threatened you? This has to be a lie. I mean, everything about it lines up too perfectly to be true. On this most consequential of occasions, let me be completely frank with you. Juniper has truly taken to heart my teaching that states the end justifies the means. I don't believe you. When she asked me to defend her, she said I must also prove her two friends innocent. Her two friends, the witnesses. Correct, Hugh O'Connor and Robin Newman. I was to ensure all three walked free. All three were to achieve their dream. That was the result Juniper was seeking. And she was even willing to threaten me, her own professor, to that end. You, no doubt, had high praise for her ruthless tactics. Yes, well, that is why I vowed to vigorously defend her, despite her threatening me. It was a time when lawyers merely sought the truth if they wished for victory in court. But, alas, those days are over. Now, in the defense of justice, order, and all that is good, the end justifies the means. I'm so sick of hearing that phrase. Though it truly grieves me so, I must tell you this. Forsake the truth if it's victory you seek. Steel yourself for this new courtroom reality. That does it. He's gonna regret dragging those dismal, depressing ideas in here. He's already surrendered to the dark age of the law, it's up to me to fight it. Why so silent, Sykes Dono? Something the matter? This is a court of law. It's no place for long-winded talks about idealistic principles. That's why I'm going to let the evidence do the talking. Let's not get carried away now, Miss Sykes. It will not do to have you attempting to discredit my doctrine. Do not force me to rectify this situation. No, go ahead and rectify it. Only if I lose and you win, that is.
Hold it!
Got our client with Coney this. Yeah, this one's, you have a point there. If only Professor Court had been alive, I suspect Juniper would have gone to her instead. So, our client came to talk to you after Professor Court was dead. Let's go through this step by step, shall we? First, Juniper came to me that day. She asked me to pre-record my speech and come to the audio room.
Hold it!
You're suggesting it's our client who told you to fake an alibi? You have every reason to be surprised. I, too, was shocked when she told me that. Simply put, Juniper has a secret that she wished to protect badly. Are you kidding me? That lie couldn't be further from the truth. The problem is, how am I going to expose it? It was an earnest request from an outstanding student. How could I possibly have refused? Okay, so that's possible, I think.
Hold it!
Did you consider that a threat? Yes, but it's now you to whom she has passed her demands on to. Besides, she must realize that you too are being used by Juniper. What? Your Honor, I ask that you too do not let her feigned weakness and innocence fool you. Juniper Woods is quite clever and extremely tough. And, perhaps most important of all, she is a fervent follower of my teachings.
Objection!
Your Honor, Witness's testimony is nothing but attack on our client's character. Very well, objection sustained. So be it. Nevertheless, the fact that she threatened me is immutable.
Hold it!
How could you overlook such a threat? As a teacher, it's your duty to discipline students. Yes, well, perhaps I do have some serious reflection to do on this matter. Suppose it was just wishful thinking on my part. I wanted to believe that Juniper hadn't actually committed murder and that she hadn't meant to threaten me. Really? Please do explain. Long and I waited for a student who would embody my teachings. Does Witness realize what he's saying? Surely you must see the true meaning in my words. I'm merely staying true to what I teach, and my methods but a reflection of the times. Wow, his way of thinking is really warped, but I haven't heard any inconsistencies yet. I wouldn't be so sure. Really? The more he tries to avoid logical inconsistencies in his testimony, the more likely we'll see inconsistencies between his actions and words. It's a dark age in which we live, and there is much I would like to say on the matter. It's the humane thing to do.
Hold it!
We're trying to protect our client. Is anything to pin the blame on, Junie? What a frightful look. I would ask that you not glare at me so. It's nothing but admiration for how Juniper was willing to go as far as to threaten me. That's why I'm protecting her by any means possible. She's been a model student. This guy's a real piece of work. What he's saying isn't what he's really thinking. Cannot possibly overturn my claims, so isn't it about time you admitted defeat? After all, if my unassailable logic is not truth, then what is? If I'm going to give in to his pack of lies, he's got another thing coming. Even though he's rotten to the core, he's a total pro. I mean, that all made perfect sense. Yeah, but you can't believe a word he says. He's making this up as he goes along. He'll trip up on his own words yet. Time to see how consistently the professor's testimony matches up with his actual actions. Maybe I'm supposed to present the recorder itself. Very well. I hereby award Miss Sykes the court's wasted effort award. Okay, I think maybe it's...
Objection!
No, not that one. The defense is simply making another baseless assertion. Crash and burn.
Objection!
This piece of edit says it all. All it says to me is you're completely wrong.
Objection!
Okay, so it's not either of those two. Hmm. Never did use this. Hmm. It's very important by necessity secret. matches up with his actual actions.
Objection!
No, I thought maybe it's because there would have been a problem with him trying to go there in the middle of the mock trial, but apparently not. Wait.
Objection!
Why would he give that to Hugh? Let me get this straight. You were trying to help Ms. Woods. That's nothing more than a bald fit, of course. Offense, Your Honor. It's defamation of my character and your hair follicles, Your Honor. It is an outrage. Sykes will clarify her statement, but leave my hair follicles out of it this time. Yes, of course, Your Honor. Now please take a look at this. Witness gave this tape to Mr. O'Connor. Then he slyly whispered, "Take this to the police and tell them you found it." There was no whispering, slyly or otherwise, involved. I simply did that out of kindness.
Objection!
The tape contained our client's voice. In short, it is incredibly damaging evidence. Why would it even exist if the witness wasn't trying to pin the murder on our client? They say the road to hell is paved with good intentions, but not yours. You never had good intentions, only lies to protect yourself with while blaming another. You, Professor, are the embodiment of the dark age of the law. Why, you dare call my teachings and methods lies? Themis Legal Academy is a proud institution. It's the most powerful in the world. Alright. So now we're seeing the real guy come out. You'll never forget what true education in lawyering means once I'm through with you. Professor Means? What's with your hair? Quiet. No talking in class. Ah. Eyes and ears up here, everyone. Homeroom is now in session. Civil Academy Lawyer Course Register. Begin with roll call. Athena Sykes. Huh? Oh, here? Apollo Justice. I'm fine. Or I mean here. Fool. The proper response is here without any extraneous information. Ouch. I mean here. Next, Your Honor. Here. C-class, that's the proper way to answer. Simon Blackwell. I said Simon Blackwell. Are you here or not? There's always one, isn't there? Well, then I'll just mark you absent. Now get out of my class this instant. Get out? Very well, if that is your wish. Who am I to defy my homeroom teacher? Is that such a good idea? Prosecutor Blackwell is free of shackles. It just so happens I was a member of my high school's disciplinary committee. But is that really so shocking? Constabulary lapdog, the teacher's pet. What a malleable mutt you are, Fulbright. Very good, Bobby. You just earned a gold star and a promotion to head disciplinarian. Alright, class is now in session. Why do I have the sudden urge to go to the nurse's office with a stomachache? Pay attention. I am not the killer. Juniper is. This will be on the next test, so you'd better be listening.
Objection!
Professor, you created the phony tape to pin the blame on Juniper. Plus, you were the only one who could have moved the body during the mock trial. Athena, you disappoint me so. To think you would label me a murderer. Now pay attention. The murder occurred on the 23rd between 6 and 8 p.m. I was already at home. Okay, this one's obvious. You are slipping up terribly now, sir.
Objection!
You really prove you had already gone home. But there's a really... Oh, you know what? He doesn't know about these. Because this is evidence that hasn't come... Well, it's evidence that's come up yet. He has to... I guess they haven't mentioned that he's in the photos because it was regarding Hugh. What? No. What are you talking about? Of course you can. It's an extra credit for your honesty. But you've also earned yourself lavatory cleaning duties until you graduate. Oh, I do enough of that at the office. No way, man. I totally object. Robin? Can't believe I fell for the professor's silver-tongued lies. Why you? How dare you talk about your teacher like that? I'm not listening to you anymore, man. No way, no how. Now, I have a confession to make. You know those two statues that were on stage? I didn't make them all by myself. Statues on stage? Do I want to know where this is headed? I was able to finish one of them, but the last bell rang before I had time for the other one. So I asked Professor Means to make it for me. In other words, the professor was there on the stage after the last bell? Right, and it would have been way past 7 p.m. before he could have finished. Professor Means was still at school? This is already well known because he's in the pictures. What? Professor told me, I'll take care of it. I thought my parents would let me be an artist if I said I'd made both statues myself. I'm so sorry for not telling the truth. Robin. Quick, somebody get this juvenile delinquent out of my sight. Simon, you're head honcho among these delinquents. Do something. Ah, who's in charge of the class pet around here? Not interested. If you want a class in swordsmanship, I'm your man. Of course, only real blades will do. No swords at school. All weapons will be confiscated. Nurse, where's the school nurse when you need one? Alright, this is just getting goofy now. In which case, you would do well to draw your staff quick as lightning. Very well, and I will just have to prove my innocence myself. Your lesson begins in second period. Prepare to be served old school style. What is that? No, never mind. Your testimony, please. Pay attention. Robin took over half a day to complete one statue. I, however, finished most of the other statue between 7 and 8:30 p.m. The defendant, Juniper, saw the two statues with her own eyes at 8:30 p.m. Completing a statue so quickly meant I could not leave the stage for a single second. How could I have possibly had time to go to the art room and commit murder? Saying the defendant saw the finished statues. Precisely, she said so herself at the detention center yesterday. Her defense team was there and heard her say so too. Don't try to deny it now. Alright, the professor was there when that matter came up. Before I address the professor's charges, I have a question for Robin. How hard would it be to complete a statue like that in 1.5 hours? It would probably take me at least twice as long. So personally, I think it would be incredibly difficult to finish in that short a time. That would exactly help our case. He won't get off that easy. He's bound to stumble over his own slippery means. Alright, so he's not denying that he was there. kind of just skipped past the part where the photos need to be presented, but fair enough. Where's the other statue? What exactly does that mean? The basic outline of Mr. Wright's statue before the last bell rang. I in turn completed the rest of it. I see. In academics as well as art, learning the basics is incredibly important. In short, you skipped the most important part of statue making, didn't you? You insolent little. It's the practical applications built upon the basics that take so much time. Professors such as I mastered the basics a long, long time ago. Unlike Miss Fancy Pants here, who lacks all the lawyerly fundamentals. Quiet, you. Now do you understand? I did not leave that stage until I was done. Oh, Miss Sykes, do you accept the witness's claim? I mean, honestly, doesn't seem like it's that necessary, considering he could have died before 7, and the images only have him there up until around the beginning of 6 p.m. Everything, but I still can't prove anything. I guess oh. I thought this was going to be one of those, oh, you go back and look at the other testimonies first. Ugh. And see that Professor Means never left the stage. That's right, but what took you so long? I was there at the stage the entire time. I couldn't possibly have committed that crime. I'm not going to give up here. I'm afraid I have to side with the witness, Miss Sykes. Unless you have any further objections, I'll have to put this issue to rest.
Objection!
I was going to say he could have killed them before 7 p.m. Not yet. So it's time for legal smoke and mirrors. Not yet, Athena. It's not yet time to quit. It's at times like these, when it seems like there's no way out, that you have to turn the case upside down. Instead of focusing on whether Professor Means could have gone to the art room, focus on how he could commit the murder without going there. It seems our young lady has a real bona fide idea. I'll use any means necessary, even casting stones. I'll feel distract her. Brought the bird to school. Sykes, Dono, if I hear one word of your usual jibber-jabber, I shall have your head. The murder occurred in the art room, yet the witness was on the stage. How do you propose to fill the vast gap between these two key facts? I accept the premise that the professor was on the stage the entire time. The only other answer is that we got something else wrong. Wait, that's it. Every last one of us made a huge mistake. We were totally wrong about the... crime scene? Professor Means was on the stage the entire time. Then he must be the killer. Ridiculous. The fence has become utterly incoherent.
Objection!
No, it's just the murder wasn't committed where we thought it was. Continue, Sykes Dono. Okay, the murder was actually committed here. On the stage?
Take that!
The greatest riddle of this case has been how the body is moved from the art room. But if the murder occurred on the stage, that means the body was never moved at all. Have I accidentally stumbled into this? I was thinking of something completely different. There's a drop of blood on the stage floor. Surely there would have been some blood if that's where the murder was committed. There wasn't any blood on the stage. Really? There was something on stage at the time of the murder that's now bloodstained.
Take that!
Okay, so I maybe was looking at this in reverse. There was something on the stage that did have a blood stain. So instead of using the banner to transport it down, he used it to transport it up. And that would be this, school banner. The blood would have gotten on the floor if this were under the victim when she was killed.
Silence.
What is it now? My theory makes perfect sense. That was a pathetic attempt. You must put every inch of your body into your attacks. The autopsy states the cause of death was loss of blood, yet only a trace amount was found upon that banner. Where did the rest go? Blood getting on there when the body was moved by wire makes more sense than not. But not if they left the weapon. Hold on, something is weird here, but figuring gotta take this one step at a time. Good, Simon. Tell me, what's your first choice for higher education? I'll write you the ultimate recommendation letters. You're all but guaranteed to get in.
Objection!
Okay, I'm going to need to... Sorry, I'm going to need to pause this and come back to this in a bit. I'll be back later. I have to go take care of something.